Welcome to this video on creating a simple Gantt chart or timeline in Microsoft Excel. So there are templates that you can use for this. You can really make some really complicated and really great timelines and Gantt charts in Microsoft Excel. But I wanted to show you a really quick way of doing one with a little bit of conditional formatting and a function as well. So I've got a bit of a process here, a bit of a timeline of things that I need to do to get some content created. I've got some tasks, I've got some start and end dates, and then I've got a calendar almost set up there on the right hand side with weeks in September and October. So before you do anything, before you do your conditional formatting on this, you need to make sure it's set up so that you can then tell the system using the function what boxes, what cells you want it to colour. So rather than me having to go in and go, okay, between the 2nd and the 6th of September, I need to do train the trainer. So realistically, it's going to be that cell, E4, which has a colour in it. And there may be one or multiple cells going all the way down the timeline, the project plan. But rather than me doing that manually, and so that this can dynamically change if things change, you can use conditional formatting to make this happen. So I've set mine up. I've got some similar dates going on there. Make sure the formatting looks the same as well. The formatting of the start and the end dates and the dates across the top are the same, so the system recognizes it, because you're going to do greater than or less than and equals to. So it needs to make sure that those dates are the same. So set it up, and now we're going to use conditional formatting, and we're going to use the AND function because it needs to look at 2 dates. It needs to make sure it's either within the start, it's after the start date or equals to, but it's before the or equals to the end date. So there's 2 parts of this function, and that's why we're going to use AND to make it happen. So I'm going to select all of the cells where I want this conditional formatting to be relevant, and I'm going to go to conditional formatting. So that's in the Home tab, and then sort of towards the middle, just a bit to the right, I've got conditional formatting, and I'm going to create a new rule. When I create that new rule, I'm going to go to use a formula to determine which cells to format. And this is where I need to type in this. And it is a little bit complex, so I'll try and take it as simple as possible and take my time. And I'll make sure I'm zoomed in either right now or towards the end so you can really see what that looks like, and then help use that and how I've designed this to design your function, your formula within conditional formatting. So I'm going to type this in, and every time we start a formula or a function, we're going to use the equal sign and AND. Now it doesn't pop up anything on here, so you will need to type it in manually. So I'm going to open my brackets, and then what I first need to do is tell the system what I'm going to be looking for. So I'm actually going to use the top dates first. So I want it to look and see whether E3 and because there's only one there, I want to lock in place the 3. So it might move across columns, but the row 3 is going to be locked in place. So I need to do E, and then I need to do a $, which locks the 3 in place. Because even when it moves across that information, and if I just move this formatting box, even if it's looking at the different cells, it's still going to be on row 3. So it's going to lock that in place. So that's why I've put the $sign there, but not E, because we're going to move across columns when it's looking for the rest of these boxes. So if that is greater than or equals to, so let's put greater than in and equals to, and then I'm going to do C4. And again, I'm going to lock the column in place, but not the row this time, because the start date is always in column C. So let's do $C and then do 4. So if that date there, 2nd of September, is greater than or equals to the start date, that's going to be one of mine. And then, comma to break it up, we also need to take into account the end date. So let's do that 2nd of September cell again, because we're going to look back on there and look at the end date for the specific task. So let's do it again. We're going to have the E open, and we're going to lock using the $sign that free in place, because we're always going to look at that row to see the dates. And instead of doing greater than, this time I need to do less than or equals to. So less than or equals to, and this time I'm looking at the end date. So this is D4. Now again, the D is not going to change because that's where the end date. So the column is locked in place, but the row isn't. Hopefully that makes a bit of sense. So column lock in place for D, and then put 4 at the end because I just want to show it 1. I'm using this one cell as an example, and because I've selected all my cells, it's going to copy it across. And because I've only locked certain parts of it in place, then it's going to work really nicely. And just remember to close your brackets. You must close your brackets on this one because you're not using a formula template. So close my brackets. And I will make sure that is nice and big. So I'm looking at that date, that 2nd of September date in E3, and I'm deciding whether it is greater than or equals to the start date or less than or equals to the end date, to know whether to colour that box in a green or a red or anything. So before I finish this, I need to set that format. So let's go ahead and set the format, and let's go for a nice green colour and click on OK. So I've done everything I need to do now. I've put my formula in place. I've told the system what to do with that cell if it matches any of those conditions that I've set in that function. And I'm going to click on OK. And you can see there, it's now added that information in there for me. And it's nice and dynamic as well. So if any of those dates change, then I can go ahead. It will automatically change that for me. So I can get a super quick Gantt chart, a super quick timeline for my project, just using a simple function and function within the conditional formatting. So really nice, really easy to play around with. You can obviously create more complex ones by going into templates and typing in Gantt charts or timelines or things like that, or project plans. You'll see loads of different options there. But if you want a super simple project plan, timeline, Gantt chart, whatever you want to call it, then conditional formatting might work for you. Have a look at how I've generated that function within conditional formatting. I tried to explain it as much as I could, but go ahead and have a look at how I've set my spreadsheet up, and then how I have created that function so you can see how it might work for you. And just take it nice and easy. And if you do get an error or anything, then obviously just come out, start again, and maybe even create it outside of conditional formatting first, because sometimes that really helps, and it helps you to understand. And then you can go ahead and create it within there as well. So one to play around with, one to have a go at. Create yourself some simple, easy, quick Gantt charts within Microsoft Excel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what videos you'd like me to record next.